Hey, this is Lotus Comics Press. I'm here with Mr. Towles, Tom Towles, which is famous for Halloween, House of a Thousand Corpses. A long time ago, we interviewed Sid Haig from House of a Thousand Corpses, as well as Devil's Rejects. Now, Mr. Towles, how's it going today, sir?
It's going extremely well, and you?
Very well, sir. Now, working with Sid Haig and all the different movie stars that were on set for House of a Thousand Corpses, Rob Zombie, how'd that go as far as that experience goes?
As far as I'm concerned, it was fabulous. Rob was great to work with. His first picture, and he just handled it brilliantly.
Yes, sir.
And what's more important, he made it possible for everyone else to enjoy themselves. And the end result is you see it all on the screen. You also see that with Devil's Rejects, Halloween, everything that he's done. It carries that unique imprint that is his, but it's based on a sense of respect for his actors and a clear understanding of what he wants from the project at the same time. It's a good combination.
That totally makes sense. Now, we asked Mr. Haig what his favorite scary movie was. What's your favorite scary movie, sir?
I think it's the original Haunting, which is probably 1962 or 1963. It's a black and white film. It's an adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House, and it's, Julie Harris, and I think Claire Bloom in it. It is probably, has one of the great scary moments of all time in it, and it's black and white. There are no monsters. You only see this little flickering of a ghost once, and that's at the very end.
Very awesome. Now, with doing horror movies as you do, what advice could you offer the brand new person that's just now getting into horror films and directing and acting, for that matter? Do you have any advice to any brand new people that are just now getting into that experience?
Be determined that this is what you really want to do, because you will reach a point where you will think you will hit a brick wall, and the question is, do you have the determination to continue? Period. There's literally nothing else after that. Determination wills out over talent every time.
Yes, sir. Now, we were wondering, just out of curiosity, what's your favorite comic book?
Oh, man. That's a tough one, because I had one when I was 8. I almost had a 10-year subscription to Donald Duck magazine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My father talked me out of it. He says, look, you know, you'll be 18 and you'll still be getting Donald Duck comics. Are you sure you want to do this? And then I thought about it and thought, well, maybe not. My taste maybe have changed by then.
Are you a big fan of Animaniacs and stuff like that as well?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I think Animaniacs sort of impressed me as the animated version of the Three Stooges.
That's kind of what I gathered out of that too.
I'm not quite sure what I want out of contemporary animation. I think what's happening with graphic novels is profound. It's having an impact throughout the entire entertainment industry and the literary world simultaneously. It has to be recognized. In fact, I'm participating in it. I'm working on 2 graphic novels myself right now.
And what are they called, sir?
One is Dead Moon Rising, and the other is Dog. It's an original idea about a guy, is actually a lawyer, who gets hit by a bus and is reincarnated as a Chihuahua.
That's awesome.
And he gets adopted by a stripper who is essentially his dream woman, but he is this ugly, mean, nasty little dog with a bad attitude and a long tongue, and he's also working to redeem himself morally so that he can either pass into heaven or be reincarnated as a human being. But he's in the midst of everything that tempted him when he was a human being,
right,
which is basically massive quantities of tits and ass.
That's great. Now, as far as everything goes, any future projects that we can actually talk about? Do you have any current new movies that are coming out that we can look forward to seeing you in?
I have a couple of things that are in the offering stage, but there's no. I don't generally like to talk about those until they're done, until I have a finished contract.
Totally understandable, sir.
I finished one a while back called Blood on the Highway, which is out. And it's actually one of my favorite movies. It was done right here in Dallas, as a matter of fact. And it's an independent, and it's, I think, really well done and funny, but it needs to get out there more. Blood on the Highway, just be aware of it. It's it's a great movie. I think it really is.
Is there any fan sites we can go to, or maybe a website where all the fans can participate in supporting your?
Those situations where you're going to have to Google it, because
yes, sir.
I'm not familiar with their website at this point. But personally, I'm working on a nonfiction book at this point called "The Art of Villainy."
Hey, I can understand that one.
No, and
exactly. That's awesome.
It's about what is stories. All stories are based in conflict, and without a decent villain, you don't have heroic action.
That's totally accurate. I mean, look at Batman or Superman, the novel, or even some of the movies. I mean, the best villains that are out there define who the hero is. I totally agree.
No. I mean, the character that you are right now, the Heath Ledger Joker, is one of the best examples of that. That is a exquisitely developed character brought to life by an incredibly talented actor under the direction of a talented director and writer.
I totally agree, sir.
And he empowered that entire process. He elevated Batman's game or the dramatic structure. So I'm basically exploring how that process of villainy, and especially when you talk in terms of individual actors like Bill Forsythe, even Ernest Borgnine over there. I just got Michael Madsen. What happened? How did Anthony Hopkins change the quality and texture of Silence of the Lambs by giving his portrayal as Hannibal Lecter?
I was going somewhere in completely different thought with that process, but that's an amazing thought too. Now, with that, it's like Batman's my favorite comic book. I mean, obviously based on the character that I'm dressed up as, but I mean, because I like Batman, you're right. I mean, every character that Batman fights is multidimensional in every single platform that you can think of. So I think that's an amazing idea, sir.
Well, you notice what's happening with the modern Batman. Both he and his central his antagonists are emotionally challenged at different levels, to the point where at some points they almost seem like the same character. Again, going back to the Heath Ledger character, you get a sense of the depth of his personal horror when he starts talking about how he got the scars on his face.
And exactly, and it always changes it up every single time he talks about it.
Exactly, and that adds to the depth of that character, and simultaneously, by its mere presence, adds to the depth of the challenge of the hero. So it's an evolving process that is contingent upon constantly escalating challenges. And those escalating challenges are driven by the villain.
That's true. That's totally accurate. And I totally agree with you. I mean, reading comic books, seeing movies, it's always defined by the villain. That's true.
And it's always the most articulated and in-depth perceptions of the villain that add to that articulation and depth of the hero. So, the entire book is based around that, but it's also an understanding of how each individual actor came to the process of acting, how they approach that process of creating a character, and how they created their most iconic villainous parts.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It'll be interesting. We'll see.
Well, guys, you're watching Lotus Comics Press. Come see us at lotuscomics.com, and we'll see you then. Thank you so much for being on the show, sir.
My great pleasure. Take care.
We appreciate you, sir. Keep doing what you're doing. Guys, come check us out at lotuscomics.com. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.